everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be trying to kind of wrap up our Kringle Candle Easter reviews here today with, I have a 2-for-1 sort of video. We've got a Sweet as Can Be, which is the 3-wick that you see burning here, and then Lemon Sugar Marshmallow in the background, which essentially the reason I'm doing these two fragrances together, they're essentially the same thing. There is a slight subtle difference that I get with the 3-wick, but I mean, overall, in the grand picture of things, the essence of the fragrance is the same. So we're going to be talking about them together. I'm going to try to keep this sort of on the shorter side, and I know I've said that before and it's backfired, but I did review Lemon Sugar Marshmallow last year, which was the first time we were introduced to this fragrance, and that was over on my Instagram days. So when I did my preview video a couple of weeks ago looking at the this year's collection as a whole, I did talk a little bit more about Lemon Sugar Marshmallow in that video. So if you saw that, some of this might be repetitive to you. But if you missed it, we'll kind of just go through the same thing again with talking about the fragrance, and then I'll just point out a few little notes I had here with the differences and help you decide which one you might want to go for if you are interested in this fragrance. But you have to like lemon. Full disclosure, you have to like lemon. So a little bit of housekeeping here to wrap up quickly. For those who don't know, I am a Kringle Candle ambassador, and they did send me these candles as a gift. Well, I should say they sent me the 3-wick you see as a gift. The 2-wick is mine from last year, my own purchase from last year, but they did send me the 6 newer candles in this collection to review for you guys, which is what I've been doing here on this channel, and I want to thank them again one more time here for sending these over. And at the time of my filming, these are launching today, and I hope I have this video up in time for you, but they are launching today, which is Thursday, March 20th at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. I really don't know if anything will sell out quickly. Last year, things sold out very quickly, but I feel like Kringle overall this year has done a lot better with anticipating demand and having supply available. I really haven't seen the super quick sellouts happening as frequently as we were this time last year. Easter sold out quick, St. Patrick's sold out quick last year. This year, we're seeing things last a little bit longer, but again, there's no guarantees. These are limited, so if there's something you really have your heart set on, I would probably not wait on those. And if there's something you're maybe on the fence about and you want to see if it makes it to a sale at some point, you know, kind of prioritize your purchases that way. But if you're shopping, I want to make sure you're getting the best deal. So check your rewards account, see if you have any points saved up to get a $1 off discount. Usually that works out better than what I'm able to offer you. But if you don't have any rewards to use and you do want to get a discount, you're welcome to use my code Simply Scented. That will give you 15% off of your purchase today. And if you know, if you do choose to use that, just know that it is a commissioned code, and I do get a small percentage of those sales. So thank you in advance if you do use it. Thank you if you have ever used it. I really appreciate the support, and it means a lot to me. So I think that's about all we have for housekeeping. So let's kind of just get into this review here today. All right, so in taking a look at our notes here, there is one little difference that I'll point out to you here. But otherwise, the notes do line up the same. It's hard to say with Kringle sometimes because they're notorious for having little typos or just quirks in their notes. So they're not always super reliable in terms of, you know, deciding whether or not a fragrance is exactly the same. So we'll just kind of walk through this. Going back to our Lemon Sugar Marshmallow, the original here, we've got top notes of pastry and lemon, mid notes of sweet and lemon zest, and base notes of vanilla and sugar. Now for this year with the 3-wick, we've got top notes of lemon and pastry, mid notes of butter and lemon zest, and then base notes again of vanilla and sugar. So the keyword here is that added mid note of butter, which if I'm kind of putting the notes aside and just going on my nose, that was really the main difference that I picked up going, you know, in this 3-wick experience versus my 2-wick. And that was that there is a little bit more of that pastry presence in the 3-wick version, I feel. It is there in the 2-wick. I feel like it's a little bit more understated in the 2-wick, but there. But when I got going with this 3-wick, I noticed I was getting a little bit more of that pastry aspect. So, you know, we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll just kind of walk through this fragrance here. Again, just kind of quickly, because I did talk a little bit more about this in my preview video, but if you think of a lemon meringue pie, we'll use that analogy again, more in terms of the ratio than the actual consistency of those layers. So what I mean by that, we've got a lemon here, which is a good dose of lemon, and you know, unlike pie filling, I feel like this lemon is a little bit more in line with a lemon curd. It's a little zestier. It's a little bit more of that tanginess. It's very, very, very potent lemon here. You have to like lemon. On cold, it smells a little bit Fruit Loopy, but as it's burning, we get a little bit more into that truly authentic, zesty sort of juice of a lemon. And again, just a little bit more concentrated of a way than your typical pie filling. So if you think more along the lines of a lemon curd, but in like the dose of a lemon meringue pie where you have a nice thick layering of it. Then with the meringue piece, there is quite a bit of sweetness here. So we've got a nice little sweet tart contrast going on with our lemon and then with our sugar element. Again, this is a little bit sweeter than your typical meringue, a little bit more creamy than your typical meringue. But if you think in terms of ratio, you got a lot of that meringue, a lot of that lemon, and you know, it balances out that lemon very nicely. It helps kind of cut down a little bit of that tartness with that extra sweetness added to it, and it kind of has a little bit more richness in it by adding that a little bit of that creamy vanilla. And then with our pie crust. So here's where, you know, the main difference lies with me between these two fragrances. Lemon Sugar Marshmallow, I feel like we're talking about a thinner, more of that typical light, flaky, sort of crusty pie note. But with the Sweet as Can Be, I feel like it's taking on a little bit of a richer tone. So I kind of hesitate to use this, but I don't really know what else to, what other way to describe it, because it doesn't smell like a graham cracker. I don't want to confuse you. But if you think just in terms of a difference between your traditional crust being that sort of flaky, slightly less flavorful sort of crust, a little bit of a lighter flavor profile, versus something like a graham cracker crust where there's butter added and it's a little bit more rich and a little bit more pronounced. You know, that's kind of like the difference here. Like maybe you just made this pie with a different crust base. Again, I don't want to confuse you guys. I don't get any like sort of graham cracker element here, but just an overall richer quality to that crust note with a little bit more of a buttery tone. So if I were to kind of speculate here, and again, this is just me speculating, in terms of the overall fragrance, I really truly feel like this is the same fragrance in each of these candles. But bear in mind, guys, this is going on my version of Lemon Sugar Marshmallow from last year. I don't have this year's version. Perhaps that lines up perfectly with the 3-wick. I don't know. But my feeling here is that the little bit of a difference in that fragrance, in that pastry note, has more to do with the fact that we've added a 3rd wick. We're generating a little bit more heat, and you know, we've got a little bit wider of a surface area, kind of letting that disperse a little bit better. This soy wax likes heat. To get the most out of the fragrance with the soy wax, you really need a good amount of heat. That's why I say sometimes if your candle is not burning as hot, you might not be getting that sort of full experience of the fragrance, like I talked about in my carrot cake review. But, you know, with that added heat, I feel like maybe it's just bringing out a little bit more of that pastry nuance here, you know, so to speak. That could be, you know, really the only difference. I don't know. You know, I'm not privy to all the inside information here. This is just me speculating. So, I mean, I feel like in terms of performance, though, strength, I've never had a problem with Lemon Sugar Marshmallow. That was one of my strongest candles last year from Kringle. And I feel like it's really on par with what I'm getting from the 3-wick. I don't feel like the 3-wick is widely stronger. I feel like they both have a very pretty similar intensity. We're talking like in the 7-8 range, and throwing like crazy. Like I can smell lemon all over my house. So I can't say it enough. You really have to like a nice punch of lemon to appreciate this fragrance. But if you do, you know, I think you will love it just as much as I do. I am a huge sort of lemon gourmand fan this time of year. So for me, this is the top pick of the entire collection. I'm so glad they brought it back for more people to get to experience this. But if you're kind of stuck deciding between the 2-wick or the 3-wick, I really don't feel like you can go wrong either way. I feel like it really has more to do with your preferences, your layout. If 3-wicks do better in your home, I would go for the 3-wick. If you feel like, you know, usually you get decent performance out of your 2-wicks, I really feel like Lemon Sugar Marshmallow is a pretty safe bet in terms of strength. You know, it's really on your preference. If it were me, I give a slight edge to the Lemon Sugar Marshmallow just because you get a little bit more bang for your buck, a little bit more burn time. And, you know, for me, I feel like I kind of burn through the 3-wicks a little bit faster. So for this price point, I feel a little bit more comfortable in the larger 2-wick jar. But I'm glad to have tried the 3-wick, and I do think this is actually probably the cutest design of the 3 different 3-wicks we have coming out today. You could easily repurpose this. So, you know, if you can get both, maybe try one of each. I don't know. It's not me, but I'm glad to have tried both. I give my slight favor to the 2-wick, but I hope you guys are happy with whatever you end up choosing. I feel like that's probably about all that we can say here for this one. And I hope that was either helpful. I hope I didn't make your decision harder. You know, if anything, I hope I'm helping you guys make that choice. But I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to these reviews, bearing with me as I kind of fumble through this, and it's really been fun to do this with you guys. It's been fun to set up these little scenes with all this like spring decor. It's very nice colors. The Kringle jars are so pretty that they make it easy. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you. Let me know what you decide on picking up today. I'm really curious to see where your final decisions landed. And yeah, thank you guys. I hope to be back again within the next week with a maybe slightly different style video. Maybe we'll do an empties or something like that, something a little bit different. But thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed if you want to see what's coming in the future. And take care of yourselves.